Well, as we move through Capricorn season, we are going to have a pinball effect of energies here as 4 planets in Capricorn are going to be making aspects to many outer planets before moving into Aquarius and then having a conjunction with Pluto. So I want to go through what's going to be unfolding here since we have Mercury, Mars, the Sun, and Venus all in Capricorn, and every single one of them is going to be interacting with the outer planets. So these are the personal planets that bring our attention to what we're doing every day, that shows us what our priorities are, where our mind is going, what our energy is focused on, what we're working towards and accomplishing, where we're meant to be prioritizing matters with that transiting sun in Capricorn, and Venus bringing about what we do for rewards. And the 4 personal planets here traveling together in a stellium is highlighting the Capricorn energies in your chart, showing you where there is work to be done, where you need to focus and make important choices. Perhaps this is giving you some understanding of your priorities, whether that's for the next few months or the next year. Capricorn is our mastery because of what we are investing in. And maybe you're getting some understandings of your priorities, what you want to put your energy towards, and what's involved in the big picture, what you need to take care of and produce. There is a very industrious energy here. And this is also where you could make some strong headway as the year begins. Now, what unfolds though is quite interesting because as the planets move through Capricorn here, they are going to have an opposition to this Jupiter retrograde in Cancer, which is an internal energy of connecting with what you really need, what feels satisfying and fulfilling for you. It brings you into what you want to do less of, where maybe you're realizing some things aren't for the long term. And there's always wisdom with Jupiter. And Jupiter in Cancer is showing you what you really feel and requiring you to trust those messages. This is a private internal energy, and you could be sensing where your heart isn't into something anymore. You're looking for more that lights you up, that's emotionally satisfying. And this could be a time when you're really feeling that powerfully, because this opposition here between Jupiter and the planets in Capricorn are going to give you some insights into more of what you want in your life, more of what you want to integrate and bring forward. And so there can be a push-pull effect here. And the opposition, especially with Jupiter, can even be a full stop. Like, I need a break. I don't want to focus on all of this right now. I want to just sit on the couch, rest, restore, digest. And it's actually by doing that, by trusting that you might feel the energy. It's by resting, reclining, and coming into this energy that you're going to see things differently. You're going to see what you're working on in a new way because of how the opposition pulls you into a different area of your energy and different messages here. So keep in mind, you could have that push-pull back and forth as the planets oppose Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. Then they move on a few degrees to square Chiron here at 22 degrees of Aries, hanging out at 22 degrees all month, but now direct, moving very slowly, gathering momentum and forward moving energy very slowly. And this is an intentional pause as the planets in Capricorn square this Chiron, which is don't move too quickly. Don't move too fast. Because there's something to honor in the timing of January where you're trusting the pace of the energy. And I feel like the square here to this Chiron is showing you how your frequency has changed at a personal level, at a self-identity level. And you could feel like you are moving ahead with a new strength in yourself. But you can't move too fast with it. And I say that because the Aries energy wants to get there and can be impatient. But the Capricorn energy is just take it slow and steady. And the square could show you where the injury was, the hurt, the harm, the pain. That's what the square can trigger. But because Chiron is moving slowly, you can just identify it faster and say, okay, yes, that's a tender spot. That's a vulnerable spot. And it could happen 4 times since there's 4 planets in Capricorn making that square to Chiron, reiterating where the wound was, but asking you to trust yourself to go slow. It's almost like there could be a re-injury if you were to override what the body needs right now. You could even feel that part of this Capricorn energy is asking you to walk in the world in a new way, with new strength, new determination, moving forward, moving ahead, acknowledging that the injury happened or that the pain was there, but it's no longer a limitation. And so this is the sensitive spot. I'm just feeling into this energy because I feel like this Chiron moving slowly in January is important. Important for your own peace, your own internal peace around what you're moving into this year that might not feel that it's fully presented itself yet. So focus on what is in front of you, the matters at hand in front of you, with an acknowledgement that this is where the sensitive spot is, but it's no longer a limitation. So after these 4 planets square Chiron, then they're going to have a sextile to Saturn at 26, almost 27 degrees of Pisces. And when this Saturn gets to 27 degrees of Pisces, it will have another sextile to Uranus at 27 of Taurus retrograde. And this is a sextile that was also in play last year. But now these planets in Capricorn are working favorably with Saturn first. And so the sextile to Saturn is important because Saturn rules Capricorn and is helping you move forward and move on as you close out spiritual lessons, karma, maybe even some old energies that you've had to just kind of sit in, because this is the end of Pisces where there is meant to be a void, a nothingness. And yet this Saturn is acknowledging, it feels like it's acknowledging something really big in your soul's growth because of the conjunction to Neptune. It's going to make it easier to move on and move forward. And as each planet moves through the final degrees of Capricorn and sextiles this Saturn, there could be a reward, a recognition, even just the recognition of energy that has permanently changed within you, what has deeply shifted. And then each planet gets to 27 degrees of Capricorn and has a trine to this Uranus, which is liberation, surprises, beneficial developments. There could be some type of unexpected manifestation that you've been working on, working hard for, and it comes through. And also keep in mind that we're moving towards the Capricorn new moon, which will be at 28 degrees of Capricorn. So it's going to have these themes in it as well that I'm discussing. But there's something about how these planets move through Capricorn, get to the final degrees, and have rewards, recognition, and developments that have been hard earned, that bring about justice, divine justice, a sense of even liberation from maybe a past cycle or previous events that you had to work through, and now there is a sense of being set free and a new level of awakening that transpires. So then after the planets make this trine to Uranus in Taurus, then they have a sextile, an exact sextile here to Neptune at 29 degrees of Pisces. And this Neptune is in the final weeks of its journey in Pisces before re-entering Aries on January 26th. And so this is the real release here, the true completion and ending that comes about. And it could feel like I'm getting the visual of unraveling and dissolving. And it feels like this is such an important ascension point. And when you have these 4 planets in Capricorn marching through the same area of your chart, it's going to be really clear what you are graduating from, what you are ending and moving away from. Now, because these energies are going to be strong in the Capricorn new moon on January 18th, this pertains to what is closing out during the Capricorn new moon, the first new moon of the year, that's going to be strongly ending chapters from 2025, and then also fortifying you with new levels of spiritual mastery, personal authority, and understanding that you've earned, because Capricorn is what you earn. It's the leadership you earn, the power you earn, the authority you earn. And as these planets interact positively with Saturn and Neptune and Uranus, there's really going to be some breakthroughs here that liberate you from old energies and old cycles. And I'm feeling this as 2 extremes. Like some people are going to have some very severe collapsing energies and a removal, whereas others are going to have some drastic elevations and escalations because of what you have learned and mastered, maybe through the school of hard knocks, but certainly because this is an important ascension point that you're meant to move on from. And I think that there's going to be some important recognition that transpires at a personal, individual level here. Because remember, again, these are the personal planets. Now, the work continues on, the journey will unfold, and it's going to be a very fast-moving year. But this alignment is really focused on earth, energy, and water. And I feel that there is some kind of interesting slowdown of integration. There is an integration here that is landing throughout the middle of January. And then as we get to that Capricorn new moon, which I'll have another video for you on that shortly, the next level initiations in your life direction are being presented and coming through quite clearly. But this is an important time in Capricorn season because, again, these 4 personal planets are interacting with all of the outer planets through different kinds of aspects. So you have your opposition, your square, sextile, trine, and then they each move into Aquarius and have a conjunction with paradigm shattering Pluto, now at 3 degrees of Aquarius. Big world events are going to be closing out January, and there's going to be some really important collective changes that unfold. And I'm feeling too like, we've already been experiencing the Sun conjunct Pluto in Aquarius, but this year Mars is going to be there too. And so I think this is where we need to consciously choose the timeline and energy field we want to contribute to. Because you're going to hear a lot of the fear-based extremes. You're going to hear a lot of what can unfold. And in fact, those are very real possibilities, especially in the 3D. But in the higher realms, which we are opening up to with this Pluto in Aquarius, and we are integrating more of our off-planetary intelligence, more of our galactic codes, more of our expansive potentials, and bringing them onto the planet. This is meant to even shatter your own limitations on your life vision. So as each of these planets comes through the middle degrees of Aquarius, this is where you're going to be, let's say, more deeply initiated into a higher life vision that is coming through. It's coming through gradually and slowly in some ways, and then all of a sudden it clicks and it powerfully connects. I feel that some people are going to have some very powerful revelations and life-changing decisions by the end of January around what you want to create and experience next in your life. And it will be undeniable because of all 4 planets making the conjunction to Pluto, signaling that all 4 of these energy fields are coming online with a more empowered life vision that you just couldn't have fathomed earlier because it wasn't time. But now it's time because of how Pluto in Aquarius is going to be rapidly evolving humanity into new experiences for those who are ready, for those who can work with these higher frequencies. These higher frequencies are no joke, and there are people who cannot integrate them, who are not able to hold them because they're still holding too much density, too many wounds or unhealed aspects of self. They're holding too much that they're not letting go of. And this is where we're going to see more of the split in human consciousness between those who have activated more of their own light body codes that they're living from and working with that are always in motion, right? It's sort of like I see the light body as being this beautiful human vessel of the cosmos that's very alive. It has movement, it's fluid, it's active. And you compare that to density, and density is heavy, stagnant, weighted down, right? And we've all had those experiences in our human journey, but this is going to be activating more of your next level potentials that signal the new starts coming through for many of you. And you could feel like you've been working away on something for a long time, and it's been a slow progression. And that's because the outer planets have been in the slower moving earth and water signs. And so that energy is prominent here in January But as 2026 proceeds and these planets move into fire and air signs again, there is going to be some rapid acceleration. And I think that by the end of January, many people are going to start having new visions of their life. And I feel too like you could already be receiving those messages from what we would call your future self that's already living in those higher frequencies. And this can help you understand what you've been working on, releasing, what you've been preparing for your own next level ascension. And you could even be tapping into the deeper meaning of what you've been closing out so that you can move on and move forward. There's just going to be a lot of fast life developments this year. Things are going to happen rapidly. Because again, people are holding so much more light. And the work you've been doing for 5 years, a decade, 2 decades, this is the new initiation portal, if you will, that's going to advance you rapidly. It's very individual though. It's not the kind of thing where you can look to your left and look to your right and see what other people are doing. This is where you focus on your own path, your own gifts, your own energy field, and being the master of yourself at a soul level, and knowing even now I'm getting all kinds of messages here, knowing even where your soul has come from and what soul level experiences are merging together here that are coming online for you and are going to be part of what drastically and permanently changes you in 2026. And that will come on strongly in February when we have the Saturn-Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries. People are going to start having more memory recall and understanding of their soul experiences on other planets, other lifetimes, ancient cultures. All of that's coming online so that we can be more holistic beings. So it's nothing short of powerful transformation as we move, especially through the last week or so of January, when all these planets are conjunct Pluto. And that means there will be the breakdown and destruction of the old paradigms, the false matrix, the old ways of living and being will continue to experience drastic changes. And then those who have already really embraced more of their light body experiences are going to be elevated and are going to feel incredibly empowered around what they're moving into next. So all in all, January is strong with changes we're feeling at a personal level. The mental body, physical body, consciousness level, and heart chakra. Then you bring in the moon, of course, which is the emotional body. So we are rapidly and drastically changing this month. You could have a hard time sleeping. You could find that your daily life rhythm is off. There could be times when it's actually harder to focus if the energy feels quite dense. But there's also going to be some periods of time when things just come together very miraculously even, and they just start to take off because the outer planets here are signaling that it is time for us to move on into our next chapter, and we are ready. We can feel it, right? There's a lot of anticipation in January as well. Like you can sense that something big is coming. What is it? What is it? Well, we will see, of course, but this is a time to understand what you are closing out, to honor your own liberation and awakening, and to be ready for your next level activations and elevations as we move through this very dynamic year. So as I said, I'll be back soon with the video for the Capricorn new moon, which also works with these planets in Pisces and Uranus and Taurus. So I'll be sharing more about that soon. Just wishing you a beautiful journey here through January. And I'll see you back here soon.